The Galactic Council had marked Kepler 442 as forbidden territory for 3,000 cycles. Every species that had attempted colonization had failed spectacularly. The Vryn lost an entire expeditionary force within 48 hours. The crystalline Zelthori, who could survive in molten lava, retreated after a single rotation. Even the hardy Korgoth, whose exoskeletons could withstand the crushing pressure of gas giants, had declared the planet incompatible with sentient life. The humans called it New Haven. Ambassador Thorax of the Vryn Collective watched in horrified fascination as the human colony ship, the UNSC Perseverance, descended through Kepler 442d's turbulent atmosphere. The ship shuddered violently as Category 7 electromagnetic storms lashed at its hull. Lightning that could vaporize starships danced across its shields.
Any sane species would have aborted.
The humans kept descending. "This is madness," Thorax hissed through his translator, his four eyes fixed on the holographic display. "Do they not understand? That island is a graveyard. The atmospheric pressure fluctuates by 40% daily. The gravity shifts unpredictably. The indigenous flora produces neurotoxins that destroyed our finest biofilters. The fauna—" He shuddered, remembering the screams of his people. "The fauna hunts with a coordination that suggests hive intelligence." Captain Maria Santos, the human liaison, smiled that peculiar expression her species used when facing impossible odds. "Ambassador, we read the reports. We know exactly what we're getting into." "Then why?" Thorax's mandibles clicked in agitation. "Your species has dozens of suitable colony worlds. Why choose certain death?" "Because it's there," Maria said simply, "and because everyone said we couldn't." The Perseverance touched down on the island's volcanic shore as the twin suns set, painting the sky in shades of crimson that reminded Thorax of blood. Within minutes, the first human boots touched the black sand. They called themselves the First Wave, 300 colonists who volunteered knowing they might not survive the week. 72 hours later, Thorax received the first status report. He expected casualty lists, evacuation requests, pleas for rescue. Instead, he got construction updates. "Base camp established," the report read. "Encountered indigenous predators, classified as megaraptors. Approximately 4 meters tall, pack hunters, electromagnetic field generation capability, 2 colonists injured during first contact. Injuries non-fatal. Have begun behavior study. Preliminary defenses established. Defenses, not retreat, not evacuation, defenses." Over the following weeks, Thorax monitored the human colony with growing disbelief. When the atmospheric pressure surges destroyed their initial habitats, they didn't abandon the settlement. They redesigned the structures using a flexible polymer that expanded and contracted with the pressure changes. When the neurotoxic flora contaminated their water supply, they didn't filter it out. They studied it, isolated the compound, and synthesized an antidote that their geneticists then incorporated into their colonists' immune systems through targeted gene therapy. The megaraptors proved the most fascinating case study. The creatures hunted in coordinated packs of up to 30 individuals, using electromagnetic pulses to disable technology and bioelectric fields to communicate. They had killed 17 Vryn soldiers before the survivors fled. The humans captured one alive. Dr. Rachel Okonkwo, the colony's xenobiologist, sent video logs that Thorax watched with a mixture of horror and admiration. She stood calmly before the caged predator, a creature that could tear her apart in seconds, and took tissue samples. "Remarkable adaptation," she narrated while the megaraptor's claws scraped against the reinforced cage. "The electromagnetic organ is more sophisticated than anything we've seen. If we can understand the mechanism—" She trailed off, her eyes gleaming with scientific hunger. 3 months after landing, the humans had done more than survive. They had thrived. Their settlement, which they'd named Defiance Point, housed 500 people. They had established farms using modified earth crops that had somehow adapted to the violent environment. They had mapped 70% of the island. They had even begun a breeding program with the megaraptors. "You're doing what?" Thorax had sputtered during a video conference with Captain Santos. "Selective breeding," Maria explained as casually as if discussing weather. Dr. Okonkwo believes that with proper socialization, the megaraptors can be domesticated. They're highly intelligent, you see. Pack bonding is in their nature. We just need to convince them that humans are part of the pack. 6 months later, Thorax received an invitation to visit the colony. Against every instinct screaming at him to refuse, he accepted. He had to see this impossibility with his own eyes. The shuttle ride down through Kepler 442D's atmosphere was every bit as terrifying as he'd imagined. But when he stepped out onto Defiance Point's landing pad, what he saw defied everything he knew about the universe. The colony had grown to over 1,000 people. Children, actual human offspring, played in the streets, laughing as they dodged between buildings. Gardens flourished with both earth and native plants growing in impossible harmony. And there, being led through the streets by a young human girl, was a megaraptor wearing what appeared to be a harness. The predator that had terrorized 3 spacefaring civilizations was being walked like a pet. Ambassador Thorax! Dr. Okonkwo approached with a wide smile, the megaraptor following docilely behind the child. Welcome to New Haven. I hope your journey was pleasant. This is Zephyr, by the way. First generation domesticated, completely safe around humans now. Zephyr, the 4-meter killing machine, chirped and nuzzled against the little girl's hand. Thorax felt his respiratory spiracles constrict. How? He whispered. How is any of this possible? Dr. Okonkwo's expression turned thoughtful. Ambassador, do you know what Earth was like? Crushing oceans, megapredators, diseases, ice ages, asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions. Humanity didn't survive Earth, we conquered it. We turned wolves into dogs. We built cities on fault lines. We made homes in deserts and tundra and jungles filled with things trying to kill us. She gestured at the thriving colony around them. This is just Tuesday for us. As Thorax prepared to depart, he watched human colonists working alongside their once deadly environment. They had turned poison into medicine, predators into companions, and a death world into a home. The Galactic Council would need to update their records. Kepler 442D wasn't a death world anymore. It was a human world. And perhaps, Thorax thought with a shiver that was equal parts fear and admiration, those were the most dangerous worlds of all.